What's up, everybody? Michael Johnson here with the Business Choreography Podcast. I'm excited you joined me today because we have a very special guest today. We are privileged to be joined by Eva Vennari. I said it right. Yes. And today you'll get to meet and share with you her wisdom. I'm excited to have her here. Eva is the founder and CEO of the Elevate Institute and cutting edge health practitioner firm specializing in empowering driven professionals to take charge of their body and their health. And we are so lucky to have her because without your health, you don't have anything. So let's get in, let's glean some of her wisdom and learn all the great things that she's experienced on her journey. Let's cue the intro and we'll jump right in. Listen, there's a lot to learn when growing and scaling your business.
That's why we created the Business Choreography Podcast, where we talk about choreographing your marketing, operations, and sales into dynamic systems that increase your revenue and your impact.
We'll explore solid business principles and discuss all things that make businesses dance to success with clarity.
We'll help you figure out where the holes are in your business and what you can do to fix them. Think of us as your official business choreographers, aka your insider growth strategists.
Remember, your choreography matters. Welcome to the Business Choreography Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so excited to have you here. It is a pleasure.
Thank you. That was a wonderful introduction. I'm like, I want to meet this person.
Well, good. Then hopefully we'll meet her together. All right. Well, I'm excited because I love to be able to help tell everyone's backstory. It's never a straight line journey from point A to point B. We always have these ups and downs and crazy journeys that we go on. And that's where I want to start today. I want to start with your backstory. I want to start by sharing with everybody how you got here doing the cool things that you're doing. So start from the beginning. Let's dig in.
Well, I was born. No. So
Got that part down.
That part's done. That's easy. No, it was, I was a hot mess. I was trying to live a life of neurotypical people among them. And I didn't know that I was neurodiverse and ended up burning out trying to fit into corporate America. I spent 25 years in various businesses, jumping from job to job, realizing I was burned out. I needed to quit or get laid off. And then, your health catches up with you. And I ended up with a myriad of symptoms that I did not know how to fix. And what's the first thing we all do? We're taught, we go to the doctor. Hey, doc, I've got something wrong. I don't know what it is. Find it, fix it, And I started down that path at a young age, at 20. And people kept saying, wow, you've got a lot of problems for such a young kid. And I was like, yeah, well, yeah. You have any solutions for me? And usually it's no. And I collected my symptoms. So I ended up with chronic fatigue, anxiety, insomnia, depression, fibromyalgia, all the incurables, itchy skin, heart palpitations, short-term memory loss, hypothyroidism, infertility, autoimmune disorder, you name it. And that's just 10 of the 30 that I had. And
Wow.
Yeah, it took a long time to sort through that. And I spent a lot of time trying to upkeep a very unhealthy body with, tactics and diets and, what's the latest thing that might help my body. And I couldn't pinpoint it. And it took me 14 years, 16 years of just constant searching for the answer. And I realized I was barking up the wrong tree by going to the wrong type of healers. Doctors don't really heal. They don't know what to do with chronic illness. And they'll tell you that. I know, because that's what they said. We don't know what to do with you. And so I finally listened to that. And I said, okay, then I will follow my intuition, which was a brand new thing for me at the time. I'll follow my intuition, realize what my body needs. I haven't figured out, but I know that if I give it what it needs, it can heal itself. So I just followed that. And that's how I found the work that I now call mineral alchemy.
Wow. That's incredible. And I haven't heard that term before. So you're going to have to explain that to me and talk to me more about what mineral alchemy is.
Yeah, it's in short, we are like a recipe. In any time we're put together with substitutes, we turn out less than ideal. So mineral alchemy is the process of putting us back together with our preferred mineral foundation. We're made of stardust. We're from the earth. We're not supposed to be made up of fake food and toxins and whatever else we end up with, because we live an awful lot of life of convenience and we don't realize what we're doing that hurts the body along the way. So I had to educate myself and realize that many others were in the dark too. And so now I'm educating others.
Wow. Well, the interesting thing is you hear that and it sounds, I think a lot of people might hear the words mineral alchemy, and I for one love the concept of alchemy. It's always been something that's been drawn to me. I love like Paulo Coelho's book The Alchemist, right? It's a great book, great story, great metaphor for our journey. But when you hear mineral alchemy, I kind of think, gosh, I that sounds a little like mystical and kind of like, oh, right? So
There's
how
a
can
little
we
bit.
break that fear of that people might have from hearing that, and how can we break it down so it seems a little bit more attainable and a little more friendly?
Well, we have this belief, and it's a false belief, that we are somehow in charge of what the body is going to heal next. We want to do our flushes, and we want to do our cleanses, we want to do our annual diet of, getting off sugar. And we're hoping that that's going to heal whatever is on, I call it the back burner list. It's the dynamic healing register, whatever your body hasn't been able to heal. And you're not in charge, honey.
Right.
So number one, you're not in charge. Two, we have this beautiful innate wisdom, and there's a program that we get to tap into just by simply giving the body what it needs, and it runs the whole show in the background. Without you could give up all of the anxiety around, oh, do I need to do this kind of, do I need to do a gallbladder cleanse, do I need to, get rid of candida, do I need to do a parasite flush, what do I need to do? Like, put it down, because the body already has a priority. It knows, in that registry, what's first, what's second, what's third. And it just, we tap into that. So it becomes very easy. And it sounds mystical because, I mean, we, we guess, as a spiritual community, we all go, oh, well, we think we know where we came from, but we really don't. What we do know is the human body has its own processes, and a little bit of faith, and then years of actually finding that this is the result is the same for everybody. If they give the body what it needs, guess what? It goes to work in its own time and in a gentle way to completely remove these symptoms, these ailments, these even things we don't see as conditions that are latent, no symptoms whatsoever, but the body gets rid of them without you even knowing, and that now you can go on about your business. And that's the difference between thinking that we should combat our symptoms and go after them with a hunt and kill idea, like we're Neanderthals, versus simply tuning in and letting our body do as it's designed. If we're truly designed by Creator, then guess what? We have a lot of magic within us, and that's where alchemy comes from.
I see. That's really cool. So next thought and the next line of thought is, does that mean I have to take supplements or something, or what does that mean exactly? Like, what do I do?
Yeah, it starts there, and it's about getting specific, because remember I said it's find out what your body needs, and everybody is in a different place based on what their mom passed on to them from mother to child in the womb. She made you, so you're not born perfect, and this tends to be a sad moment for a lot of people when they realize they're not born perfect. So there's that. And then you're raised in the same environment where her mineral imbalances and toxins were collected, so you just keep trying to cover up the same problems that she had. And anyways, this is it's an all natural process. So we're basically just replacing the minerals that we have missed because of I mentioned earlier, we have a very convenient lifestyle. So we have big farms that are producing our food, and they know it, and science knows it. They've been talking about how the depletion of our minerals and nutrient value in our soils is, it's a problem. And you cannot just eat food as medicine anymore. Supplements are meant to supplement an already healthy diet, yes, but it's a matter of really taking that supplement roulette and just guessing what to take. Take that out of the whole equation. Give the body just what it needs. Specificity is the key. It's got to be very specific, and then your body goes to work.
Wow. And you did this. You went through this journey where you've figured that out, and you've started figuring out exactly what the body needed so that it could go through and take care of those ailments and those challenges that you had. And I think we are oftentimes conditioned from the industrial age, maybe, I don't know where it came from, to think that it has to be painful and it has to be this arduous journey of suffering and pain to get out of our ailments. Is that
Yeah.
true?
It doesn't have to be painful. It can be at times as the body, think of it this way. I'll give you a story. So when I was 20, I was diagnosed with autoimmune disorder, and at some point shortly thereafter, I ended up contracting scarlet fever from one of the patients. I was a medical transcriptionist at the time. And scarlet fever is not a common ailment to catch in this day and time, and it wasn't then either, 30 years ago.
Right.
Wow, time has passed. So we are that was a 6-week long suffering where I remember looking at myself in the mirror going, girl, you are going to die. Like it was quite intense. And they put me on 6 weeks worth of these very strong, the strongest antibiotics the world has to offer. I had. You would think that would be enough to kill the virus. So cut to, I find this mineral alchemy work when I was 36, and short order, within like 6 months-ish, somewhere in there, I woke up and had a healing reaction. Full-blown scarlet fever. It lasted 3 days. 3 days, and it cleared out. The body then had enough energy. It had removed enough toxins to raise the immune system, and that army of the immune system just killed it, and it did it really quickly. And that's the way our body's supposed to work. So it can be painful. It just depends on what your history is. But a lot of people find, especially if they've lived with chronic pain their whole life, the chronic pain just disappears. It becomes a memory to the point where they forget. I ask them how they're doing, and they're like, oh, I'm fine. What about your arthritis? Oh, yeah, no, it's gone. So there's that difference between I do something to help maintain a really unhealthy body, and you get halfway there, but if you stop doing that thing, whatever it is, then the pain comes back. This, when the body's done clearing out whatever is wrong, it's done and gone forever.
Right. I love that. You mentioned fibromyalgia, such an interesting challenge and such a hard thing for Western medicine to understand and identify and come up with, dare I say, a cure or not, as it were. And I'm familiar with it. My that it's something that some of my family members have experienced, and so that's a big deal. I mean, as I understand it, it's like the body's overloading, right? And it feels like the energy is weird. So, just the fact that you've found a way to have that no longer be an ailment, to me that stood out right away, right? Because I've been and heard about that, close to home. And so did you find that with all the different ailments and stuff that you had overcome and that you had figured out, did you find that it was like one at a time, or was it just that the body figured it out and it kind of went, okay, let's clear everything out at once? Like, how did that happen?
It's gradual, and you go through these periods. I call it the healing cascade. And so the body has a certain order it likes to clear things out. And once that cascade starts, what it does is it picks a category. It's like, are we clearing out? What are we doing today, guys? Are we clearing out a virus? Are we going to kill that off? Are we going to get rid of nutritional imbalances, which are typically the cause of fibromyalgia? So it'll pick that thing, and the body will go through a clearing. Now, depending on if it's a virus, it kills it off once. If it's a toxic metal, maybe you only have that metal in one layer of your metabolism. because it builds up like onions. So we get to that, the body clears it out. But if you have multiple layers of this same imbalance, then you'll go through it each time we hit a new layer, in your metabolism. But eventually it becomes nothing. I remember when I started to clear out a lot of people are copper toxic because there's zinc missing in our soils. Do not go out and just start taking zinc, please. it'll not heal you. It will actually make things worse because that's not how the body works.
Right.
But anyway, disclosure. And then when we start to clear out copper, it's highly inflammatory. It causes things like early onset menopause. It can cause problems with thyroid, so hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism, both of them copper toxicity. Anger, rage, road rage. All of these things are part of our minerals, and minerals create conditions of emotions that we think have to do with our outside factors, but it starts here. So yeah, clearing out of copper was a gradual process. And the first time I started clearing it out, it was painful and it was a long period. This was just me, but I lived a life of chronic pain. Every day I had a migraine headache. I had all of the fibromyalgia. I had the itchy skin. I had the heart palpitations. Guess what? They're all related to copper. And the doctors don't know these things, but people who work in mineral alchemy do. So it's about asking the right person.
Right.
That makes all the difference. So I have some clients who just never feel any symptoms at all, any healing reactions, like, no, I'm good, Eva, I'm fine. And you don't have to have symptoms to do this work. If you want to live a life of longevity without being propped up on medications later in life, then do this work now before you feel symptoms. And that's the difference. Like, people come to me when I'm the last rock they're looking under. It's not too late. It's just, why did you wait?
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So how do we figure out, I mean, obviously you've got to be able to approach it, like you said earlier, every body needs something different.
Yeah.
And so how do we figure that out? How do you go about figuring out what each body needs and how to start to create that alchemy in that person's body?
Yeah, it's not tarot card reading, although I do that too. This is a biopsy. We take a little bit of hair. It's painless. We're not pulling out anything. A little bit of hair from the scalp. Cut it with scissors, and we can see how the body is processing everything you're putting into it. And it's not about what's missing in your diet. It's not about what's too high or what's too low. What determines our ability to go through the healing cascade is the relationships of minerals inside the body and how well they're meeting each other's needs, just like any other relationship in life. It's funny how we think that relationshiping only occurs outside of us. It's too.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's that simple. So we find out what the body is doing with everything you're taking in, your food, your water, or anything you're drinking, whatever sits against your skin. Maybe the stuff doesn't rinse out in the cycle of wash, and so all of that absorbs in. It all goes into the body. The body prioritizes and says, well, I've got a little bit of this stuff, this preferred minerals, the stardust that we're supposed to be made of, the best of the recipe, right? And then it goes into, all right, these toxic metals, they're here. We can use them as, let's call them like placeholders, like a spare tire. You blow a tire, what do you put on? A spare tire. Spare tire is used. Your car doesn't quite work the same way. It's not going to perform the same way, but it'll get you to the tire store. And that's the idea of a toxin. That's it. It's not supposed to be there forever. And when it does, it breaks down the body and it causes inflammation, all of these things. So I'm getting into detail here, but the idea is the body has its own preferences and it chooses what to make you up with. Whatever is left over or doesn't have the energy to process, it goes into your soft tissue, which is your hair and your nails. And that's why we're testing it.
Wow. How long does it take to get a test like that done and taken care of?
It's pretty quick. So I send out a hair test kit in the mail, which looks like a number 10 envelope. That's it.
Oh,
and
nice.
then, yeah, they get their little hair. It's a very high-tech scale. It's made of paper. They measure their hair, it goes into an envelope, off to the lab it goes, and about 2 weeks later, it spits out a result. And I make sense of all of the jibber.
Wow. What if you don't have any hair?
You got hair somewhere, hun.
I love it. I love it.
beard hair works, chest hair works, arm hair works, and we can continue south.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I work.
I thought I better ask because all of us bald entrepreneurs out there, we're all listening, going, "Well, what about me?"
I worked in construction for 16 years. I've heard all the funny questions that men like to ask. So.
Better to ask now and get it out of the way. Well, this is amazing. I love it. What's the regimen like? A lot of times people are like, yeah, you know what, I want to do that. I want to get healthy, and I want to be able to do something different than my parents before me, the generations before me, and I want to make a shift. So what's the regimen look like? Is it look like, oh, I'm taking some extra supplements in the morning to counter and to start to give my body what it needs? Or is it like more involved than that? What does it look like?
It depends. So I like to start people very slowly because we're here to reduce stress, not create it. And the more you change about your daily life, schedule, calendar, food, habits, the more the body has to overcome. And the body can't make more than a couple of changes every 2 weeks without wigging out. So so you start off with minerals, you take them with your food. It's meant to be in the background of your life. We check on your water. Like if that's not a stable thing, we're eating regularly, we're drinking our water, we're getting our sleep, we're getting our rest in the day, we're being aware of what we're putting in the body and who we're around, because that matters with our stress levels. So all of these things are the equivalent of being what I call on the program. Anything that can upset it, like from a healing reaction to the alignments of the stars, all of those things play on the human body. And so we have what I call modalities to help to mitigate those healing reactions and the outside forces that can weigh on us. I mean, I'm working in energies that have to do with we're going to get weird here, but hexes, curses, spells, demonic possessions, they all affect our health. And guess what? There's a lot of people playing with magic. They don't realize what they're doing. I clean that up. So,
Wow.
yeah, it's all related.
Wow. That's incredible stuff and super fascinating. And I know that of all people, our listeners are entrepreneurs, they're go-getters, they're hustlers, they're people that are doing what it takes to make an impact on the world with their thing, with whatever it is that their specialty is and what they are great at. And oftentimes you put your health on the side and you wait and you go, I'll take care of that later. But now is the time.
Or it will go away on its own, they think. And
That's right.
when you can ignore it is the best time to work with it.
Right.
Because as soon as you're unable to, you'll end up like me. I was a single mom. Well, the dad had died, so their dad passed, and I'm raising the girls on my own. And I was so fatigued. I was on the couch, and I told my 3-year-old daughter, "She's, Mom, it's time for bed. Come tuck me in." I says, "I can't get off the couch," and I became unable to do anything but work. And at some point, I couldn't work either. And that's just my search. So, like, learn from my search. Don't wait. Don't wait, because it will just get worse and worse.
Right. I love that. Okay. So you've sparked all sorts of intrigue and curiosity. And I know there's some of our listeners out there thinking, okay, all right, I'm hearing this for a reason today. This is important. I got to do something about it. So what's next? What does it look like to get started and to start exploring this stuff with you? And how can we get some help with it?
Yeah, I hear that a lot, by the way. I hear a lot of people go, I was just talking to my sister, or I was just praying, I was in my session with my higher self, and my higher self said, you've got mineral problems. And then you, Eva, you showed up on a podcast. So I kid you not, I hear it all the time. So I won't be shocked, surprised, or I feel free to share. But you can reach me on my website. That's the best place to get me. It's called theelevateinstitute.com. So it's all three. Yes, thank you. All three words together. Don't forget the, you'll end up somewhere else. So you'll see on there, there's a couple of ways to interact. If you I have a little free gift for everybody. If you want to take the Chinese face reading, that's available right on the front page, and it can tell you if you have any signs of serious illness hiding right on your face, and then what to do about it comes after. And that's a good way to contact me.
Wow. Well, what a cool resource, and so needed. We oftentimes on this show spend a lot of time talking about business and marketing and sales operations. We talk about the choreography of the business, but one of the things that we periodically bring in and we try to share with everybody is that it's not just the flow of how things are working inside the business. Your ability to have an energetic flow through your business, the choreography of you inside your business is so valuable, and how you interact with not only your employees, your team, but also with your business as a whole, it makes a huge difference. You all know, and I think I might have said it to Eva before we started, is if you don't have your health, you don't have anything, right? And all of a sudden, everything else fails in comparison to your attention. A couple years ago, I got really, really sick, and I was out for about a month. Like, I just could not do anything for a month. And I'm a go-getter, so I tried, but it was crazy. And it was around the pandemic time. So, oh, you probably have COVID, but I did not. And it was just something else. Body was trying to figure it out. After that, I realized, okay, you can't do that. That is not okay. That cannot be a normal thing, and that can't happen again. And so I made some shifts, made some adjustments, and I would encourage all of you guys that are listening to take it serious and realize that you are doing something you love in your business, and you love the thing that you're trying to share with your people, whoever your people are, whoever your tribe is. And if you don't choreograph yourself and your good health into it, then you're missing a whole piece of the puzzle that is so important. And all of you guys know I come from a dancer background, and so if you can't walk because your foot hurts or your knee hurts, you can't dance. And that's the end of the story. You have to wait until it heals. You have to wait till that's all better. So I want to encourage you guys to really think about where you're at right now. And like Eva said, if you're in a good place, this is potentially a really good time to start, because you can get it moving, and then not have some dire straight focus on it, which makes it also challenging when your brain's on it 100%. So now might be a great place to start, even if you feel like you're in a good place.
Yeah, doing pretty okay. Yeah.
Well, Eva, this has been amazing, and I'm sure we could jam on this for hours and hours. And I hope that some of our listeners take you up on your generous offers to give them some great free resources, and get in and get the ball rolling. But before we leave, I would love some of your last words of wisdom that we can leave our guests with.
Oh, I mean, you said it in your own words, but I'm going to repeat it because it is the mission of the Elevate Institute. If you're a visionary and you're tasked, and you actually raised your hand as a volunteer before you came in, he says, I want to do this on the planet and live this life. If anything's getting in the way of that, including your body, keeping you from being that visionary and really bringing in your work, it's denying the rest of us. I want to know what you've got going on, fellow visionary. We have things to do. There's so much work to be done, and I want to make sure that you can do it.
I love that. Well, we appreciate it, and it's like you said, we all have a great calling in different areas, and it's a good thing there are people like you that can come and help those of us that are after a different calling to be able to keep healthy and keep moving towards that direction and serving our audiences in the best possible way. So we appreciate you so much. Appreciate your wisdom and the journey that you've been on to be able to share what you've gone through with us, and the experiences you've had. And as usual, guys, keep focusing on your choreography, not just for your business, but how you are choreographed into your business and your health. And until next time, keep on choreographing your business. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Thanks for joining us today.
Want more business choreography?
Check out our website at bizchoreo.com to find out more.
And find out how the choreography for your marketing, operations, and sales can raise your revenue and create more impact.
Remember, every business needs choreography.